Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League Assetto Corsa Competizione. Round 4 of the Taco Tuesday series takes us to the land of the rising sun at Suzuka, Japan. I'm Tom Cairns in the control position, providing you with everything you need to know throughout tonight. Into the last quarter of an hour of this practice session. Will Freeman, after his stellar performance last week, came out on top in Misano, ahead of Nico Busov. Nico Busov won the last race. I should say Will Freeman came in to finish right behind him in second place. Freeman is still leading the way as far as the championship is concerned. The form here tonight. Here in Japan, round 4 of the series, out of 9. Been to Mount Panorama in Bathurst, Laguna Seca, recently to Misano. Tonight is Suzuka. After that we go to Snetterton, then to Watkins Glen for the 90-minute special, the last of the 90-minute specials for season 11. Alton Park in Great Britain on November the 28th. And the last 2 races of the season being in Zandvoort in the Netherlands and Indianapolis in the USA. Will Freeman is fastest at the moment with a 2 minutes 0.2, just a couple of tenths faster than the 147 Ferrari. The Belgian Jeffrey Godefroy, with Dennis Novak, the Australian, in third place ahead of Francisco Sousa. 5th position is a man who, his first appearance in Taco Tuesday this season, Dmitry Kondratenko. So we're expecting around about 32 drivers in tonight. Melvin Crows is in, as is Josh Clayton. 35 cars in Misano, 36 in Seca, 27 in Misano, and hopefully we'll get 32, if not more than that, here in Suzuka tonight in the Pro category of Taco Tuesday. Have joined us, we do welcome you. Feel free to get involved in the live chat if you ever so wish to do so. So Will Freeman was 3rd last week. Godefroy finished 2nd. My apologies there to Will. He actually did finish 2nd in Mount Panorama, but it was 2nd in Mount Panorama, 1st in Laguna Seca, 3rd in Misano. So yes, you are right, Will. My apologies. Out on top here in Suzuka. He's putting some good pace so far in the number 10 Audi. Kieran has done as well in the number 28 BMW. Nico Busov, Dimon Ivanov, and Leishout ahead of Morgan Grace. Leiboa in the number 3 Audi. Ujol Leher in 12th. Kowski ahead of back in 14th place, and it's Bas Brinkhoff, Connor Byers, Adam Sharp, Elka in 18th place over Steve Caruana, Will Rayner, Sean Cole, Melvin Crows in P22, then it's Jack Prentice, Jan Spike, Prentice, Mateusz Dybel, Barclay Bizzle, Stuart Hutchison, Liam O'Neill, Josh Clayton. Corsa, who has yet to get a time on the board, as well as Clayton actually. So we've got 31 in the server right now. The Casio Triangle Chicane is Melvin Crows, who is hoping to build on from his performance in Misano. Start line where the lap times are being clocked is around where the start line is, not the first line as you would expect to see in Formula 1. Crows is able to improve up to 21st place. Yes, as they come once more. We'll come away from Crows and we'll go to Godefroy. I think this will be a good opportunity actually to go for a tour with him of this 5.8 kilometre Suzuka circuit. Out of the Casio Triangle Chicane to start a lap now. Coming through the sweeping right-hander. And he's coming towards the line to start a lap of this circuit. They're approaching the first turn. Up to 260 kilometres an hour before decelerating for turn 1 and applying the brakes as gently as possible. Through turn 2 and using all the curb on the exit. Position the car on the right for the beginning of the S's. Important to stay within rhythm throughout this sequence of corners. Down to second for the right-hander of turn number 6. And the uphill climb of Dunlop. Heading towards the trickiest part of the circuit, which is Degner. Very easy to get it wrong through here, but Godefroy's got through there fine, safe and sound. Using all the curb on the exit. Coming up towards the hairpin of turn 11. Position the car on the apex. First gear and then up through the gears through turn 12. And then eventually you'll arrive into Spoon Corner. Up to 240 kilometres an hour in second gear. Runs wide unfortunately, the lap is invalidated, but we'll stay with Godefroy for the remainder of the lap. So coming out of the swing curve onto the back straight. Sometimes may see races actually start at this particular part of the circuit. Over the bridge, this is one of very few circuits around the world where the track overlaps, and Godefroy is actually coming to a stop because he's running wide and there's no point continuing with the lap. But you've got a good picture of how this circuit works. First opened in 1962. It wasn't until 1987 when Formula 1 first arrived here for its first World Championship Grand Prix event. Championship of Formula 1 has decided the Drivers' Championship on this circuit on a total of 12 occasions, including 2022, the most recent one, with Max Verstappen taking the title that day in that wet event. Japanese do love their motorsport here. It's GT racing or the Super Formula Championship, or Formula 1 or any racing championship of its capacity all around the world. A lot of Japanese drivers do race around the world, not just over in Japan. Most notably Yuki Tsunoda. He's coming towards his third season in Formula 1 with AlphaTauri. Good drive at the weekend at Interlagos, Brazil. 6th in the sprint, 9th in the race on the Sunday, but AlphaTauri in a stronger position to catch Williams for 7th place in the Constructors. 2 races left, the next one being in Las Vegas. Should be an absolute belter in my opinion. Last race, which is the usual season closer in Abu Dhabi. As far as the Drivers' Championship is concerned, this season with the drivers dropping their lowest point score, or their worst result, in terms of what it says on the SimGrid website, it says that Busov is the championship leader, but only because he's had a 4th place dropped in Mount Panorama, and Will Freeman's had a 3rd place dropped because that's his lowest score. But in actual fact, if you were to apply everything so far, Will Freeman would be the championship leader, albeit by 1 point over Busov. 5 for round 4 of the season. Just going to invite Craig Law to the comments position, so if you just bear with me whilst I do that, come back on screen in any moment. So whilst we are waiting for Craig to arrive in the lobby, completing their final laps of the practice session, I think we've got 32 in the lobby now, or 33 even, which is good to see. Edmund has arrived, as has Mauro Arsenio. Finally, Craig has joined me in the lobby just before the practice session has finished, so good timing of him to join. Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Hello, sorry for being a little bit late. Hope you are all doing well. Hope you're doing well, Tom, as well.
Yes, absolutely fine. It's been a busy week for me as far as racing is concerned. Obviously, we just mentioned about the Sao Paulo Grand Prix that happened during the weekend. I was just talking about Yuki Tsunoda linking with where Taco Tuesday is tonight at Suzuka. And I don't suppose you are sort of looking out for anything in particular on this racetrack, which has been a fan's favourite for a number of years, and it still is to me. It's nostalgic as well. What are you sort of maybe looking out to see this evening? Because we've got 2 drivers who are well in form at the moment. Will Freeman in the lead and Nico Busov 2nd place in the championship if you were to apply all their championship scores of all 3 races this season. What are you maybe sort of expecting? Who are you expecting to shine here?
I think that it will definitely be, I mean, it's good to see the top 3 in the championship who are currently lining up in practice in the top 3. I was involved in another race with Nico Busov on Sunday and on FRL series, and he was driving the Lamborghini as well. I was at Indianapolis, and he walked it. He absolutely walked that race. Absolutely blew everyone away. So Nico is in the form of his life in that Lamborghini. He's doing extremely well so far. Obviously, he's got some really, really stiff competition in the form of Will and Godefroy. Will is also in the form of his life as well. So you've got like about 3 or 4 drivers who are really just, I think, are in the. Yeah, they're just doing the best that I've seen them race anyway. Like since I've been in FRL. So yeah, it's really good. I think qualifying is going to be extremely important here. As I'm sure you've dished out the stats for Suzuka, but it's not the easiest track to overtake on, certainly in F1 terms, and you really have to get a good run out of Spoon and possibly get out of the last corner of a good run to get people down into turn 1. but it's not the easiest to overtake and follow. But yeah, I think that it could be a very competitive qualifying and race tonight.
I should think so too. I don't know what time where the track is at in terms of when the race is going to begin. But either way, we should be in for a jam-packed session. We've got 33 drivers in the server at the moment, which is not the most we've had. I think the most we had was in Laguna Seca when we had 36. But it's still a good, number of drivers in the lobby. So we should see plenty of action throughout the field across the 1 hour race. It is a 1 hour race, not a 90-minute one, in case you're wondering. A mandatory tyre change. So there's a lot to look out for, and I'd like to think that Will Freeman is going to continue the form he's in, as is Jeffrey Godefroy, as Chris Gedman is coming across the line now. I don't know if he is actually on a fast time. I think it was just an outlap he was doing. I think that'll be like an exploratory lap because he's arrived quite late as Chris. But either way, we're going to be in for a brilliant race once again, with a lot to look out for in rounds, I should say. 15 minutes of qualifying first, and then we've got a 60-minute race lined up for this evening.
So I should note that we have one main absentee missing, and that's in the form of Ben Milden. I've been reliably informed that the reason for his not appearing tonight is because his entire street has just had a blackout. So that rather limits your ability to do virtual racing. So unless the electricity magically comes on in his industry and manages to get onto the stream, onto the race, then we will not have Ben Milden tonight, unfortunately. But he's kind of the main absentee, I would say.
He's got another 15 minutes or so before the race begins, so even if he doesn't take part in qualifying, he can always take part in the race from the back of the grid, which is better than nothing, I suppose. Or even he can just start from the pit lane just before the race gets underway. He's got a few more minutes that way for him to join. Well, the session is underway. You can see the field absolutely wasting no time whatsoever getting out onto the circuit. Boa in the number 3 Audi was not the first one that made it out onto the circuit. Just looking to see who is the first driver in the queue. Is it Rombach who's ahead of the queue? Who's in that purple livery car? It's Brinkoff, I think, actually, who's in number 13 Lamborghini. He's hoping to his form so far this season for Bas Brinkoff. Best result was last week in Misano. He ended up 19th, so we're hoping to go better here than he did so. But yeah, let's hope for Ben Milden does make it in. Obviously a blackout is a very unfortunate thing. We've all had at least one sort of street blackout. I remember that when I was younger. I will admit, considering my autism, it did frighten quite a bit out of me, but I was not alone in the house anyway. Thankfully my family, particularly my parents, were able to look after me.
Yes, I've been in blackouts before, and it's where you just have to light all the candles and find the biggest torch in your house, and it's quite fun for a little bit of time. But yeah, usually it comes on quite quickly. Usually to get on it. So yes, we hope Ben is all good. So I think the biggest thing here to look out for is going to be traffic and qualifying, and we've got 33 cars on track, and Suzuka is, as I said, not the easiest track to overtake on, but if you come across traffic at any part of the lap, it will destroy your lap. Yellow flags are easy, all that kind of stuff, as we see Brinkov just going a bit wide at 180R, just even on the out lap. But you're going to start to see people really back up here. They're likely to put in at least 6-7 laps of fuel, I would say, to try and get as clean a lap in as possible. 15 minutes is not that long.
It's not long. It's a 2-minute tour at least of this track on this with these GT cars, these GT3 specs. They're very good to drive as well. Can be a little bit of a handful at times. I mean, to be fair, I've had limited experience with GT cars on this game, but it is fun to get used to it. It's a lot of practice and time to get up to speed to even be within sort of in the field of FRL, because these are not amateur drivers by any means. They are very experienced with these cars, as well they should be. I know a lot of them have had different experiences with different sort of manufacturers of cars, different models as well for that respect, but these are some of the most competitive drivers you are going to find within the PlayStation sort of community. On
Yes,
AC, would you?
yeah, indeed. I will echo that. And you know, it's like us. Everybody likes to have a bit of fun. We like to have a bit of crack on the party chat, and you know, I think we can all agree that there's definitely a good some of us who definitely like to have banter, and it's all fun and games. But on the track, it's you want to win, and yeah, especially when it's this competitive as well.
Got one driver in the pits at the moment, that is Peter van Leischer. I don't know if he's waiting for a gap in the traffic to make it onto the circuit, or whether he's had an incident somewhere, but he is just waiting for his move. Got Kleiber, who is coming round, Bas Brinkhoff, I should say, who is coming down the back straight towards the end of his first flying lap. The track was green before they made their way onto the circuit. It's a very busy racetrack, is Suzuka, so we're just waiting for the first lap times to appear, and then naturally the times will come down as the session progresses. Bas Brinkhoff then coming round the Casio Triangle chicane towards the end of his first time lap. He's saying that Jack Prentice got the first time, although that's pretty much an anomaly, to be honest with you, so just ignore that for the time being. Bas Brinkhoff is going to post the first relevant lap time of 2 minutes 2.3, but as I've already mentioned, that lap time will come down in due course. Connor Byers has posted a time. Steve Caruana has gone up to the top with a 2 minutes 2.2, if I can get all the twos right. Nico Busov going to the top though, albeit for a second or two, because Kamil Mikowski is able to displace him, so the lap times are coming down very, very quickly, Craig.
Indeed, and I'm just following Will for his lap, but I think he must have got a track limit violation on the end of 130R, sorry, not 180, that'd be an incredible corner. 180R, so, oh no, he did, no, sorry, he went through, sorry, the timing being is a lot further down the straight than I thought it was. Yeah, so now he goes quickest, which is not surprising. Kamil Mikowski, he, as Sousa goes second in the Mercedes, wow, a wild Mercedes appears. Mikowski was also really good on Sunday on another race that I participated in, and he was second, and he was, him and Vortel were battling for second place, so Mikowski's definitely comfortable in the Lambo. He's not a driver that we see that often, right?
Just watching Sean Cull at the moment, a previous race winner in Taco Tuesday on this circuit, the Season 9 champion crossing over the line now, and he's gone up into 10th position so far. So a lot of drivers have still yet to post times at the moment, including Josh Clayton, who I think has just got over the line. I didn't see where he had gone. Oh no, he's dropped down the order, I should say, because other drivers have been posting lap times right this second. Will Rayner is coming over the line in the number 5 car, the number 5 Ferrari that is. He's gone to 13th fastest, going quicker than before. I'm just looking at Kamil Mikowski actually, because he's going through sector 2. We can't see whether he is actually improving at the moment. Just got to assume that he is going quicker as he makes his way through 130R. Around the Casio Triangle chicane right now, and you are right, the timeline is actually further down the pit straight. It's actually sort of on the start line as opposed to the finish line as you would expect to see in Formula 1. As I've already mentioned to the viewers during this during the broadcast, he's actually come to a halt there as Mikowski as he makes his way back to the pit lane. Yeah. Busov is fastest with a 2 minutes 0.2, which is round about the fastest time we saw in practice, so that's maybe around about the time we expect to see. I wouldn't be at all surprised though if someone does post a sub 2 minute lap time before the session closes.
It would be remarkable if they did. I was trying to remember if in F1 isn't the qualifying line, isn't that like just at the end of the grid? I'm pretty sure it's not. I mean, as I say, it might be further down the grid in maybe for GT3s, but yeah, it's not really what you expect. But yeah, in terms of from a lap time perspective, yeah, that was a great time from Nico. Again, he looking at the sector gaps, it looks like Ivanov has got a purple sector 1 and is a clear 4/10 quicker than Nico. Bizarrely enough, really, 4/10 difference between Nico and Ivanov in 6th place. So there's definitely at least 4/10 for Nico to find, surely, if he can replicate that. But then, yeah, Nico has a purple sector 2, and then Sousa has a purple sector 3, which is quite interesting because that's just essentially Spoon and the long straight, really. So there's a bit of time as Kondratyenko goes second. We haven't heard of him before, have we?
No, it's the first time I've seen him race, actually, certainly this season in Taco Tuesday. for all I can remember. I'm just watching Josh Clayton here over the line because he's about to post his first time of the session, presumably, which he doesn't because he's probably exceeded track limit somewhere. But yes, you're absolutely right. Kontratenko has gone into P2 with a brilliant lap time of 2 minutes point 3 in the number 10 Audi. He could be one to look out for this evening. He could be the one upsetting the sort of Busov-Freeman party. Sell this evening. Mauro Arsenio, who had a connection issue in Laguna Seca, hence why he didn't score any points that evening, but the consolation you can take from it is that the worst driver scored gets excluded at the end of the season, so that could be the one that he can cross off anyway. Yeah,
job scores. So yeah, just to explain the concept of a job score, it's your worst result based upon the season. So kind of not much. So it's essentially basically, as we all have real lives, if you essentially have to miss a race, or in the case of someone like Ben Milden, your electricity goes off in your entire street, it's not the worst case scenario. It does just mean if you have an unfortunate incident and you can't start a race, then you've got to perform really. If that puts the pressure on the races that you can attend. So I think just looking at Dmitry Kondratenko on the standings, he's 21st in the standings. He didn't start the first race and he finished 26th in race 2, and then in Misano he was 12th. So this is definitely where's that come from? That is an incredible jump up in pace for him.
Very much so for Dimitri. So he's actually he's done, you're absolutely right, he's done 2 races.
Sean Cool first. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's gone to the top, so that must mean the lap times are most certainly coming down. It goes back to what you were saying about Ivanov's time in Sector 1, which Busov was lacking on his previous effort, so surely that must give Busov the little bit of a move on actually to try and get a better time in there. But yes, you're right, Sean Cull has gone to the top. It's a long time since we've seen him at the top, but he is up there now. Will Freeman is on circuit, he's just ahead of Busov on track, so I don't know whether they are on outlaps, these two, or whether they're actually on flyers, but they've got time to get another flyer in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So Sean Cole goes to the top. I said in the end of the last race, I thought the Porsche would be stronger here, and I was quite surprised not to see anybody up towards the top. But Sean Cole's just done that. So yeah, as you say, Nico is he's probably one of the slowest of the top 5 in Sector 1. So he definitely has a lot of time to make up. I'm just on board with him coming through the final sector, just coming out of the final corner, and let's see what kind of improvement he makes. Wait until the timing line, which should be coming up right about now.
Yep, so Busov goes over the line, but he doesn't actually go up the order, and neither did Will Freeman, so I would have thought maybe they were on outlaps, those two. So they'll need to go again and get a better time.
I tell you what, I think Godefroy, I think he's got more pace in that car. There's definitely, he was definitely a bit quicker in practice. I feel he's probably coming away a little bit disappointed so far to only be down in 7th place. I'm expecting a bit more from him in this race. The sole Ferrari in the top 10 at the moment. It's probably not the best track for the Ferrari, which you don't really say that often.
Godefroy is in P7 at the moment, 4/10 off the pace to what Sean Cole has done. We've got 3.5 minutes to go, and there's still time for times to come down. And even if you are on a flying lap, when the clock reaches 0, you can go and finish it. Kontratenko in 3rd place there. Mauro Arsenio is in 5th. Francisco Sousa is in 6th place. He's done well so far this evening. Cameron McCossie doing better than expected, it has to be said, in 8th. And we've got the Australian Dennis Novak in 9th. I remember him during the Mount Panorama race, actually. He did rather well, considering all the mayhem that happened throughout that. I don't recall he was around last week, though, was Novak. I'm just trying to see him on the championship table. He wasn't around.
He was there last time. I remember the Honda being there. Oh, no, he wasn't. No, okay.
No, he was not in Misano, but he was over for Laguna Seca in round 2 when he ended up 22nd in the end. So Dennis Novak could be one to look out for. Maybe one of the underdogs for this evening. So he could be in the frame, maybe for a top 10 finish by the end of this evening's action. He's coming towards the end of the lap that he's completing. He's in P9 at the moment. Does he improve his time? He does not, so he stays where he is. Busov is coming around the last corner now. I think Freeman is ahead of him on circuit. Freeman does not improve. Busov, does he improve? The answer is no, he doesn't. stays in P2.
No, and he's looking at the lap times, he still just can't get that sector one. I think it doesn't seem to be like that's where it's competitive. I'm just looking at the like in the Lamborghini lap times. You know, Will is this is all sector one is just obviously the S's, and you need that aerodynamic efficiency and that kind of car turn in. So I'm quite it's really interesting to see where different cars and different drivers are obviously finding bits and pieces different. As I think Nico just went a little bit wide there, so I'd imagine that's his final lap time really. We're all getting onto our final lap times here, so let's see if anybody can make any big major difference. They'll be fueled up, and this is going to be the lightest the cars are going to be this whole time. And I'm fully I just kind of wonder if some people like Will Friedman, Godefroy, there's a lot of time to make up. It looks like Godefroy is just going to start his last lap here, winding up the car. He pitted just there, so he should be on the freshest tyres possible.
Schonkel is still top. Nico Busov ahead of Kontratenko, who's coming round to the last corner now. He'll get over the line before the clock reaches 0, so he'll have one more go at it. We've not seen too many improvements, though, in the last 5 minutes or so, Craig, as Kontratenko goes over the line for his last effort, but we're not seeing too many improvements at this moment in time.
Let's see. Well, Schonkel's just coming down the straight. He'll get one more lap. Whether he has enough fuel or not is another matter. Let's see if he improves. No improvement there either. It's so much of a flow kind of circuit, really. It's you really just have to get the whole lap completely all together. So many different corners, and yeah. Let's see what Nico does as he comes over the line. Will he improve? No, but he gets another lap. Whether he has enough fuel again is another matter.
So the checker flag is out now, so the drivers on their laps can finish it. Are we seeing any improvements those behind? Well, Brinkhoff is 21st at the moment, Caruana 24th, Jolea only 30th in the Ferrari that he's in. Liam O'Neill has not come out on circuit, unfortunately. He hasn't got a time on the board. Stuart Hutchinson is coming round to complete his last effort. He's in 31st place. He's half a second off the nearest driver ahead of him, so he's got some time to find in the remainder of the lap he's currently on. So how is he going to get on through the Cassia Triangle chicane? Was a little bit okay, maybe a little bit sluggish.
I'm just looking at Will Friedman's on.
Yeah, he's into the pits.
Yeah. No worries, I'm just looking at Will Friedman's on board. He was up a 2/10 on sector 1, but has just lost it as he goes through the S's. So the drivers are finding time, but perhaps some are just pushing a little bit too hard, and maybe tyre wear's coming to it as the track got hotter. There's definitely some differences. Arsenio goes up to 5th place there in the Porsche.
I think he improved his time. He didn't actually improve position, did Arsenio, but he definitely improved his time from where he was previously. Kontratenko is coming round, though, to complete his last time lap. He's got someone ahead of him there. That is Chris Gedman, who's coming round to complete his last time lap. He's in 32nd place. Kontratenko may be able to get the benefit of a tow as they go over the line. He goes top! He goes top with a 2 minutes dead. So Kontratenko has taken pole position away from Sean Kull at the moment, but Kull is coming around to complete his last time lap. Can he go back to the top and take pole position? He can't. He improved fractionally, but it's not enough. So Sean Kull will not be on pole position here at Suzuka. Will Freeman's coming into the pit, so he's not going to be on pole. Nico Busov is coming round the last corner now to complete his last effort. Is he finding enough time as he heads over the line? Maholka goes over the line, no improvement. Busov does improve. He takes back pole position right at the end. So Nico Busov is on pole position in Taco Tuesday in the pro category at Suzuka. What a brilliant final effort to take it away from Kontratenko. Excellent stuff.
Wow, wow, wow. We had 2 changes of pole position. We thought Kontratenko has just come from absolutely nowhere and almost got pole, but wow, that was a amazing final effort from Nico. He got that sector 1 down to a 40.1, so that's where that improvement came from. Amazing. Not quite sub 2 minutes, but wow, that is so close. We thought, wow. That's amazing.
I'll let you find your words. I'll give you some time to find your words, Craig, because that was a brilliant end to the qualifying session. Didn't expect too many times to improve given what we saw in the second half of that qualifying session, but I'll run down on the qualifying order then for the 60-minute event of Taco Tuesday in the pro category in the Formula Racing League. Nico Busov is on pole position in the 95 Lamborghini, with Conchatenko alongside in the number 10 Audi in second place. And we've got Sean Cull and Will Freeman alongside each other on the second row of the grid. Then we've got Mauro Arsenio and Francisco Sousa on row 3. Jeffrey Godefroy and Kamil Makovsky are next in 7th and 8th, with Denis Novak and Demon Ivanov rounding out the top 10. Morgan Grace and Luke Prentice are on row 6 ahead of Adam Sharp and Kevin Druin. Josh Clayton and Farser are on row 8. Jack Prentice and Connor Byers are on row 9, with Andreas Mahulka and Melvin Crows running up the top 20. Bas Brinkoff and Clive Bower on row 11, with Will Rayner and Peter Van Leischau on row 12. Steve Caruana and Spike on row 13, with Matthias Diabel and Rombach on row number 14, with Falklover Bizzle and Joel Leher in 29th and 30th positions. On row 16, we've got Stuart Hutchinson and Chris Gedman, two of the admins within this league. And at the back, the only driver that did not set a lap time is Liam O'Neill. Let's see how he gets on from the position he is at.
Indeed. Well, so I mean, I've kind of found my words a little bit. I should probably also give a shout out. You mentioned the only admins in the server. We should give a shout out to Luke Prentice and Jack Prentice, who have both become admins for FRL. So congratulations to both of you. The brother domination continues. So we should probably be nice to them on stream. I think we are always nice to them. So yeah. So wow, incredible result. I mean, I'm still a bit. I'm amazed at Kondratenko, where that's come from. Maybe he's just come across a Coach Dave Academy setup or a pay-for setup. No, he's probably really fast. He probably just had unlucky. You know, you don't just get fast at Suzuka. Like, Suzuka is the ultimate driver skill track. And yeah, I'm really, really impressed by that. So yeah, so we get into the race, really. Predictions, I have none. I have no idea how this will go. I imagine Nico will be obviously rapid off the line, but you're going to have a really interesting strategic battle here with when do you pit, because that's going to be the biggest thing, isn't it? Is making the jump and getting the undercut on certain drivers. So there'll be a lot of I'm very curious to see what the pit strategies will turn out here.
I think it'll be one of the top 5 that will come out on top. I'd be surprised if it's anyone else, to be honest with you. But we'll see anyway. A lot can happen around Suzuka, especially on the opening lap with the sequence of bends who got in the first sector. I think that could be one of the talking points of today. But we'll see how the leaders get on throughout the event. We're around about 2 minutes away from the start of the formation lap. They'll go around, do a formation lap, and it'll be a rolling start, as always, within this game when it comes to racing.
Indeed. So I think just one thing to note from driver list, I was going to say it in qualifying there, but down in 18th is Connor Byers, who the eagle-eyed viewer will notice that he has changed car. So he was the only driver in the list that was driving the Aston. So he's decided to take the punt and drop the Aston and go to the Audi, which means he's wiped all of his points from the first 3 races. That's the rules. If you change your car, you obviously forgo all your points. So he was clearly trying to expect bigger things from the Audi, but he is down in 18th. He's unfortunately probably not picked the best Audi track. But yeah, he'll be hoping for slightly better things. Although, I mean, if he waited a bit longer till next season, there's this LFM BOP that's going to be coming in, but we can discuss that later, which will probably make the Aston a good car again. But oh well.
See, and Connor Byers will hope to make up places from 18th in the Audi, and as you have already mentioned, switch cars during the season, you do get all your points wiped off, but I think Byers will take that on board with pride. He'll probably just use this season as a bit of a consolation or consolidation season where he actually learns which car is the best for him. Circuits we go to, of course. We're around about 40 seconds away from the start of the formation lap. And after what we've seen in qualifying, I expect to see a brilliant race in store. It'll be around about 30 laps. That's round about right, I would say. Track temperature 34 degrees, air temperature 27 degrees. How much do you think temperature will play a role in tyres, Craig? What were you looking out for?
Yeah, it'll be brutal. It'll be absolutely brutal on the tyres, especially since the 1.9 update. They will be hurting as they go through the lap. And there's not really much you can do. I mean, it's the the S's are the S's. You have to just take them as fast as you can, really. They'll be thankful that at least it's only a 60-minute race and you can at least pit for tyres. But yeah, it's brutal, especially, it's kind of the same as F1 when, the kind of the stress that's on the tyres. That's why I think for Suzuka they bring the hardest set of tyres down to Japan for this race. So yeah, there'll be not much that you can do about it. It'll just be, can you hold on to them for as long as possible, and which car will be the best. So they get on their formation lap now, and in terms of I kind of predict probably, around about 14-15 laps for this first stint. And it'll be a matter of, as you say, maybe 20 to 30 laps of actual racing. So depends on how long they keep the tyres and whether they cannot make a mistake. I think the biggest thing to also note is, especially down in kind of, I'm kind of just thinking about how clean the first lap will be. It's kind of, it's kind of hard to predict, really. What I would say is for Kondratenko, who's in second, never been in that position before. If he gets a good launch off the line, and if he nails the start right, he will have the inside. Will he have the inside line into turn one? No, maybe he might. But he could get a good run, and that will be your only overtaking opportunity all the way around until near 130R. So this is the point to make up positions, but also not to ruin your race on lap one.
Run down on the grid then in case you've just joined us. Nico Busov is on pole position in the 95 Porsche with Dmitry Kondratenko in second place. Then it's Sean Cool and Will Freeman on the second row of the grid with Mario Arsenio in the Porsche alongside Francisco Sousa in the Mercedes AMG. Jeffrey Godefroy in 7th place in the Ferrari alongside the Lamborghini of Kamil Makovsky. Denis Novak is in the 9th position ahead of the Bulgarian Demon Ivanov with Morgan Grace and Luke Prentice in 11th and 12th. On row 7 we've got Adam Sharp and Kevin Druin, who is in the number 28 BMW. Josh Clayton ahead of Chris Faster in the 696 Ferrari. Jack Prentice in 17th position ahead of Arkadiusz Mahelka in the number 41 Lamborghini. Conor Byers is 19th ahead of Melvin Krause. And we've got Bas Brinkhoff in 21st place ahead of Clyde Bower in the number 3 Audi. Will Rayner and Peter van Leischau on row 12. Steve Caruana and Jan Spike are on row 13 in the Ferraris, with Matthias Deibel and Marcus Rombach on row 14. Joel Leher and Farklop Bizzle rounding up the top 30, and behind them are Stuart Hutchison and Chris Gedman. The driver at the back of the grid, electing to start at the back of the grid, is Liam O'Neill after not setting a time in qualifying. So the field will Sorry, go on there, Craig.
No, all I was about to say just before we start is I'm quite surprised at who was at the top in Misano, who are quite far down the field. So Van Leishout is one thing, Dialburl, Leha. Leha was towards the back. But yeah, there's some drivers that are a bit out of position compared to last week. Just shows how it changes week to week. But I fear for Melvin down there in 20th place. He didn't have a great race last time out, so he's going to hope to keep it clean this time round. But he'll have his work cut out there on 20th place.
Ready for the start here in Suzuka with Busov. So a speed limit of 70 kilometers an hour, which I think is the speed limit for the start of the race. If you exceed that from when the lights go green, you will get penalised for it, and it can really harm your race before it's hardly started. So as they're coming around the Casio Triangle chicane in preparation, I think once the whole field are in line with each other on the pit straight, that is when the green flag will fall. The start line is not actually until further down the straight, actually, so the field have a little bit more time to prepare as they get ready for the start here. Will Busov getting to turn 1 first. He's got the inside line, so that may give him the high ground as they approach the turn. But watch out for Kondratenko and also for Sean Cole and Will Freeman. All the field are on the pit straight, so we wait for the green flag, and we are ready for the 60-minute event here in Taco Juice in the Pro category, and we are underway with Busov launching clear, but watch out for Kondratenko on the right-hand side of your picture. Busov going to the inside, but Kondratenko is in front for a moment. Busov will have the inside line into 2. They almost make contact as they go through, but Busov is able to retain the lead at the moment with Kondratenko in second place. It's Sean Cole third, and it's Will Freeman in the pink liveried Lamborghini in 4th position. And we've got Mauro Arsenio in 5th place in the purple and green liveried Porsche. And then behind him should be the Mercedes of Francisco Sousa as they make their way through the S's, but it seems to be a rather clean start so far, unless you've seen anything that I haven't seen, Craig. But the whole field have got through nicely.
Cariana down at the back there had contact, I think, with the 22 car. I saw a couple of them spinning across the grass. So not quite, but just probably round the back of the field, as you say. So just a couple of drivers involved. But oh yeah, so far very clean. And I thought Kondradenko would get a good start, and he had a really good launch. He had a really, really good first phase of it, but just hung around the outside there, and you have to be really super committed. And Nico got there, just got his car, like, obviously in the right position. So good start from everybody involved, and we got all the main protagonists still in play.
Busov leads at the front with Kondratenko second, Schonkel third, Wilfred Freeman fourth. It's Arsenio, Sousa and Godefroy. So I think the top 7 are the same as what they were on the grid. Denis Novak has made up 1 position in 8th place. Demon Ivanov is down 1 position. He's down to 11th. Kamil Mikulski, I think, is down 2 positions at the start, so he's not had the best times of it, but it could be worse for him. So as they all make their way through 130R. Now, track limits was an issue last week in Misano. How do you think track limits is going to fare for the drivers here?
Lots of contact at 180R. It's Brinkov. Brinkov has gone wide, and he smashed into another car. Oh, that's an awful, awful accident. Is that Chris Gedman that's involved in that?
It is. It's the light and blue liveried Porsche of Chris Gedman.
And he turned round. Yeah. Oh, there's quite a lot of contact at the last corner there. I think Brinkov is involved there. 713 of Karunia again. Oh, crikey.
Connor Byers is in the pits as well. I think he also had contact with Brinkhoff or whoever it was. So he's coming to the pits. We've got quite a number of drivers entering the pit lane right now. So they've got a lot of work to do if they're to salvage anything from this race.
Poor Chris Gedman was just, he came through 180R and just, full speed into the back of the car. That would be God, if that was in real life, that would be a bit of a career ender. So thankfully it's virtual. I'm sure it scared the living daylights out of him, but yeah, 180R still, it's no joke in the GT3 cars at all.
Peter van Lieshout is also involved. He's struggling to get his car back to the pit lane. He's doing his best. He's struggling to get that turned in. I think that's pretty much his race done. He can't even get the car turned right, actually. I think he's trying to get the car in reverse, but no, he's gone via the menu. So I think Van Lieshout's race is finished, to be honest with you. So he's out of it now. And let's back to the drawing board, unfortunately. It was just unfortunate chain of events that was going on through 130R.
Yeah, I think it was Brinkov, and it must have been Brinkov and Connor Byers, I think it was involved in that. I think they were going through 180R, and it must have been just someone was tapped around, and that just caught at 180R. There's nothing that you can do. You can see the yellow flags, but that's about it. So yeah, unfortunate. We got a bit of a battle here for third place. So Sean Kill, I think he jumped Will Friedman at the start here.
No, they were in the same position as before. They were.
Right, okay.
But Freeman's going for a move into the Casio Triangle chicane. He thought about it, but Cole read it and stays in front for now. But Freeman's line is compromised through the Casio Triangle chicane, and that might give Arsenio and Sousa a little bit of a run on him as they come down this pit straight.
Indeed, yep. Let's see what they can do. So Arsenio is back in the battle, and it looks like Sousa is going to take Arsenio down into lap 1. And is he going to have the inside? And he's going to take it, but Arsenio is going to go round the outside, and they've made contact. Oh no!
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Arsenio will be absolutely livid there. He stays in front of Sousa. I think Sousa's slow because he knew he would have been penalised after. But he's well down the field, as is Arsenio, and Arsenio's trying to keep his car on the circuit. So they're both down. That promotes Jeffrey Godefroy up into 5th place then, due to all of that. Denis Novak is now 6th. Morgan Grace is 7th. And I'm just looking to see how far down are Arsenio and Sousa after that contact. I think quite a bit down, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think definitely in the mid pack. I mean, that's pretty easy to assign blame there. I'm afraid it's when you have somebody on the inside of turn 1 at Suzuka, you've got to give them a bit of space because unless it's just going to end both your races at that point. Really, it's always going to spin you around. So an unfortunate incident for them, but it's good for Godefroy and good for Novak. They've kind of been promoted up to 5th and 6th, and hopefully able to join the battle. I'm just looking at a replay. I'm just going back on Connor's stream, and it was Brinkov and Hulka who they went side by side, and I think Mahoka has spun Brinkov into the way of Connor. Connor did well to actually avoid it, but then it was the spinning McLaren of Van Leishout. He just careered into him and caused a bit of a massive accident there. So that's what's happened there. So yeah, unfortunate incident for I think kind of a lot of cars, including Chris Gedman, were just passengers really in that.
Three drivers have not returned to the racetrack. Bas Brinkhoff, Peter van Leishout and Chris Gedman. All three of them look to be out of the race now. And we're down to 30 cars. Steve Caruana, Conor Byers, Liam O'Neill and Stuart Hutchinson all continued. I wonder if Liam O'Neill pitted in. Was he involved in that shunt? I wonder. We want to look at Arsenio though, because he's looking to make a move on Makovsky in front. Or was that a purple livery car? Then that's actually Morgan Grace, just fending off Dennis Novak by the looks into turn one. But going back to what I was saying about Liam O'Neill, did he come into the pits with damage, or was that an intentional pit stop?
Well, he's just spun round at in the second turn there, so I'm not sure if the damage, if he was pitting for damage, it's not being fixed. I'll go back and check the stream and see if he was involved in that.
Busov is continuing to lead then as they all make their way through, but watching Sean Cole is right over the back, all over the back of Dmitry Kontratenko as they come towards the Degner curves, and you can see how hard he's pushing there and using all the curb and then some as they come through out of Degner 2, and he's not moment as we're just hearing, I think that was number 22 coming round the hairpin there. That'll be Steve Caruana or Stuart Hutchinson, I think it was. As we have a look, I think we've lost a driver actually from the race that was not one of the three that was we thought had retired. Chris Gasman's actually rejoined the race, albeit a couple of laps down. But we've also lost another driver in that. I think it might have been Conor Byers. I think he's left the or disconnected from the server.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Tim. So not surprised really. That's really frustrating to have changed all of your changed a car and lost all your points, and then just he could do nothing from the looks of it. From what I've seen in the replay, he could do absolutely nothing about that. But that is racing, unfortunately. So it looks like Nico's kind of stretched out a bit of a gap in front of Kondratenko. And he's actually coming up on is on a lapped car already. It's the 22, I believe, who seems to be not appearing on the timing tower.
Stuart Hutchinson. Yeah, it's incorrect.
Hutchinson,
yeah,
it's
right. Hutchinson. Yeah, he was one of those that pitted in. I will say that Bas Brinkhoff has actually rejoined the race now, albeit a few laps behind. As the leaders are now on lap 5, with Busov leading by 1.7 seconds over Kontratenko, with Sean Cole another 6 tenths back.
We've got Melvin Cruz in 19th, going to shaping up a bit of a move on Kleiber here on the Ferrari. Is he going to do a bit of a dive down into turn 1? He was thinking about it, and he's gone slightly wide on turn 1, but that actually might open up the next corner for him. Him and Kleiber, are they going to go side by side through this corner? Not quite. But yeah, Melvin's done quite well actually to avoid any incidents. As you can see, it was just so easy to get involved in a multi-car smash. So fair play to him.
He's running in 19th position behind Kleiber, who is racing in the number 3 Audi. But they are in the standings. Melvin Cruz is 34th at the moment. He missed the first race, but I think he might have changed cars since then. Something like that, I'm not 100% sure. Cause it's showing
is that Melvin? Is that Godefroy or Melvin or Mikowski? Or is that a lapped car that's just, it's the Porsche just ahead of Mikowski?
Mikowski, I think that'll be, just looking to see who it is. I think that's actually I think it's that Liam, is that Liam O'Neill? I think it is, that is he's a lap down is Liam. So
right,
that
okay.
could well explain it, but if it is Liam, then he'll have to obey the blue flags because he's a lap behind this bunch, and if he ignores the blue flags on too many occasions whilst he's holding the field up, then that could result in a penalty. So if he wants to avoid that, in fact he's getting out of the way now, and he's losing. That's the downside of pitting in at the end of lap 1, is rejoining into the path of drivers behind, and we're just seeing someone making a move there in that black liveries car. Can't quite tell who that is. I think that was
Mikowski, I think, the 174.
It was Chris Faster, but we're seeing a move actually from Kevin Drew, and that's just getting by Liam O'Neill, the laps car. Jack Prentice is behind what looks like Kevin Drewin. Is it that is in front of him there? I can't quite tell. I think that might be a lapped car, you know. they are coming through.
Is that Kevin?
No,
Yeah,
it's,
it is.
it's
Yeah,
Kevin Druin in 14th position. No, it's Josh Clayton, sorry. Josh Clayton is in that black livery 500 Ferrari. As we see Liam go off the track, is that to just stay out of the way, or is it a genuine spin? I think that might be Will Rayner, who's had a spin into turn 1 there. He is, and he's pointing the wrong way for a moment, but he's got the car spun round again.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of argy-bargy between Foster, Prentice and Clayton there. Clayton was trying to do a move, well, Jack Prentice was trying to do a move in Clayton's there, and almost spun him around actually.
Oh, Konchatenko ran wide at Degner 2, and that's allowed Sean Cull into second place. Sorry to interrupt you, Craig.
No,
there's an important
absolutely.
change of position, and Sean Cull pushed Konchatenko for the last few laps, and Konchatenko ran wide in the end, and that hands the initiative to Cull there. It goes up into second position in the Porsche. So Konchatenko's hold on the runner-up spot has ended, and Will Freeman is right behind him now. So Konchatenko just needs to get back into a rhythm here and trying to get back through on Sean Cull at some point.
Yeah, I'm just looking at a replay of the position change actually from the perspective of Will Freeman, and I wonder if there was contact there between Cull and Konchatenko. It's a bit of a strange place for them to go off. I'm just kind of having a look. It's I've got limited angles here. I want to say there was a bit of contact between Sean Cull and Konchatenko, but I guess there's a bit of battling here. It's just Will Freeman going for third.
It is, and Konchatenko ran wide again at 130R, and I think he'll have exceeded track limits, so he just needs to be careful of that. That might be something to look out for, Craig, in terms of how many track limit warnings each driver has got. But Will Freeman is right behind Konchatenko. He's dropped back a little bit now coming out of the Casio Triangle chicane, but Konchatenko has not had the best of laps. I think a car has stopped at the end of the pit lane. Can't tell. Is that Peter van Lyshout who's just exiting the pit lane? It is, albeit he's at least 5 laps down on the leaders.
Yeah, indeed. And Godefroy and Novak are just getting past Hutchinson here, who's yeah, I mean that's a bit tricky for him. He's just going to constantly have to get out of the way of cars here. So this represents a good opportunity for Will. Will was falling down. He was kind of struggling to keep up with the top top three. So he's now starting to find a bit of pace. I have to say, whenever you have drivers making a mistake in front of you and it brings it closer, you just suddenly find an extra couple of tenths of pace. It's remarkable, really. So he's going to be harrying him through these corners, mindful that he made a mistake at this very corner. Hopefully we're not going wide there. No, that's all good. So what can Will Freeman do from 4th place? Can he get another podium?
Hoping to keep that 100% podium streak going. As it stands with the positions as they are, Busov will be the championship leader. Freeman's 4th place will be his worst result of the season. Well, I don't want to say the drop point score yet because we've not had 9 rounds or done all the rounds of this season yet. But Busov will be the championship leader as it stands, with Freeman currently in 4th place, unless he can get a move on, get through on Konchatenko in the Audi.
Indeed. So we'll see what happens there. So Will is going to have to just stalk his prey a little bit. Nico is more or less checked out actually of this race. Incredibly impressive pace. And so really the battle right now. Oh, Konchatenko, he's gone off at 180R and he smashed the barrier.
He has. That's a big shunt. That's a big shunt there for Konchatenko. He's got out of the barrier, but how much damage has he done to the Audi?
Oh dear. He just got a swapper, didn't he? He just took it a bit too much and that's it. That is going to be a big repair job now for him. That is such a shame. Running so well.
He's coming back. At least he hasn't had far to go to get to the pit lane, and he can get his mandatory stop done now. But this has wrecked his race. That mistake has cost him horribly.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the replay. It's just from Will Freeman's point of view. And did he get on the grass a little bit? No, he just took it a bit too... That's a really bizarre mistake from him. It looked like he was definitely a bit wide. He was nowhere near the apex of 180R. And he turned left, and maybe he just felt the car. I think the Audi is a rear-engine car, and maybe he just started to feel it, just starting to like oversteer a little bit. Adjusted the steering and turned right, and then he just went flying into the wall. That is an awful mistake to make, I'm afraid. Let's see if he's down in 24th. He's obviously going to repair that damage, but I mean, points are still rewarded all the way down to as far as down the far reaches of the points. So Yeah, what an awful mistake. Very dramatic.
Whilst that had happened, Will Rayner got penalised for speeding in the pit lane, so he's picked up a 30-second stop-and-go penalty, which he'll have to take within the next few laps. So that'll be his race effectively finished by that point. Konchatenko is still in the pits at the moment. He'll get out in 20, or at least he should get out in 24th position. Stuart Hodgson is only just coming through the spoon curve now. Konchatenko will want to get out before Busov gets round, really, by getting blue flagged.
I think Ivanov's made a massive mistake or something, because he's really, really slow, unless I'm watching
the bonnet's
the wrong
damaged.
car. Yeah.
The bonnet's damaged on that car.
Oh dear.
So
Wonder what that happened.
I don't know, but it's definitely damaged, and he'll need to come back into the pit lane because he's not going as quick as he needs to be, and he will not want to get in the way of those coming through there. Dybel and Leher are battling for position as well. So how will Ivanov take it here? Should be okay actually from here.
Yeah, it's not the worst in the world. You can definitely feel to the end of the race from, but it depends. That looks like probably about 10 seconds of damage if the bonnet's popped up. I mean, the bonnet can pop up with even like about, half a second of damage, but I jumped on board with him around the Degnas and he was just going really, really slow. So I wonder if he just got into the back of somebody and just popped up the, probably a bit of an innocuous contact, but I mean, it's a huge amount of pace to lose to start dropping back that far down the field.
Quite a few cars already in trouble in this race. Ivanov, the latest casualty. Konchatenko has not rejoined the race yet, so I don't know for certain whether he will actually rejoin the track. He should get back out there and try and get some points from where he is at. So Ivanov into the pits with damage. We're approaching the third way mark of this race. Busov not only leading, but has the fastest lap point to his name. And it's looking good for him in terms of the championship, although Will Freeman is up in third place now in the top three. Looking to maintain his consistent start to the season. I think as it stands, I don't know how many fastest lap points each driver has had so far this season, but it's going to be pretty much neck and neck in the championship. I think Will Freeman will still be on top.
Yeah, it will be. I think. Yeah, Nico. It depends for the drop scores. Well, I think Nico will still remain top. Godefroy will definitely drop off a little bit. I mean, he's in fourth place though. I mean, I know I was saying in qualifying that it probably wasn't the best qualifying for him, but he's definitely kept his nose clean and he's kind of profiting from everybody going off. So fair play to him so far. But as I say, so far, as you can see, anybody can just seemingly drop it at any point.
Battle going on for 10th place between Sousa and Sharp as they come to the Casio Triangle chicane. Adam Sharp, who we've not really spoken too much about this season so far, is doing okay as far as his season is concerned. Not spectacular, but fine. And he's going up behind Sousa, although he's not really gaining enough. I think that's Konchatenko. Is that Konchatenko coming out of the pits there? Or is that Ivanov? No, it's Ivanov that's just coming out of the pits. And he's already a lap behind the leaders.
Konchatenko has, he's come out, he's in 20th place, so he's just around spoon curve at the moment, so, way down, but, hey, you never know what's going to happen, but, unfortunately, there's no safety cars in ACC, so that's, if there was, it's always worth coming back out again. So as it settles down a little bit here, there's definitely some drivers that are getting a little bit frustrated. I'm looking at Jack Prentice and Josh Clayton battling, and Cruz and Kleiber. You're just finding it slightly hard. Oh, is that Clayton? He just gone No, he didn't go slightly wide. I was kind of missing that, but Prentice is desperately trying to get past that black liveried Ferrari. So pit stops should be coming up quite soon. In about, I would say, about 8 laps time, depending on how they fueled. Will Friedman is, he's actually just really closed up to the back of Sean Cool. Actually, I've just noticed that. So. He's going to come around to spin curve and he'll have a bit of a slipstream going down 180R. 130R, I don't know why I keep saying 180R. And let's see what Will can do. I was going to say, it's slight undercut territory here, depending on what he wants to do.
Third place still behind Colby's closing on him. Cole has dropped further back from the race leader Nico Busov as they come through the Casio Triangle chicane. We are not too far away from pit stops at the moment. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if we start seeing an undercut. And there we go. Will Freeman is attempting an undercut by pitting in now.
Wow.
He's gone in too quick though. I think he's gone too quick into the pit lane there as Freeman. That really could cost him. We'll see what it is later as he comes out of the pit lane. But it looked like to me he got in way too quick.
Let me just go to stream up. Let's see. That would be incredibly costly. It's a very, very fast pit entry. I was going to say come in early, but that is early.
He'll come out in some clean air, Will Freeman. But
you're absolutely spot on. He was doing 105 kilometers an hour at the pit limiter entry.
Yeah.
Kilometers an hour. Yeah, he is 100% getting a penalty, I'm afraid.
That is very bad news. We've got the number 8 that is stopped in the pit lane as well as Freeman. In fact, has he stopped? Has he quit? Just looking at his dot on the chat map, it's gone yellow. No, I think it's just leaving the box now. But he's most certainly going to be getting a 30-second stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane there, Will Freeman. We're just waiting for confirmation from race control. There we go. Look, yeah, I was absolutely right. I was right to believe in myself. Will Freeman has been given a 30-second stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is his race ruined.
I can't understand why he was going 105 kilometers. I mean, there's going maybe 5 kilometers over the speed limit, but then there's going 55 kilometers over the speed limit. I can't find rhyme or reason for that. That is probably one of the worst penalties you could get in this game, especially with such a long pit lane. So yeah, that's his. Yeah, I'm afraid that's your race ruined, Will. And that's a major dent to your championship hopes. But it's a drop round, and maybe just chalk it up. But you don't want this to be your drop round when he was already in 3rd place, battling for 2nd.
Consolation you can take from that is a lot of the drivers have been in the pits for repairs, whereas for him, he won't need to do that. So that'll be something to take. That's a positive at least to take, and you never know what could happen to Busov and Kull and a lot of the others. He can claw something back in this race, but I think this could be a write-off as far as his season is concerned. So he'll need to be in the pits in due course with Will Freeman. He might even get out in front of Ivanov, so all is not lost. He's in 22nd place, and I think he will rejoin in that position once his stop and go penalty is served.
Yeah, it's just so unfortunate, isn't it? Yeah, meanwhile, there's still this kind of battle, really, between Prentice and Kloiber and Kroos. It's all 3 of them are just kind of joined at the hips. I was on board to Kloiber going over 130R with Prentice, and Prentice was... They're both... Well, Kloiber was hitting the inside of 180R. I almost thought his car was about to go flying there. So they're really pushing as we come up to the pit window. I wonder if we'll see anybody try and dare to do an early pit stop like Will is going to do. That's such a shame. I was really intrigued to see how that would turn out. But yeah, not great, not the best one you could do. I wonder when he'll come into the box. Will he wait a couple of laps?
Probably just go for a couple of for a couple of flyers, and then having to pit. You have to take that stop and go within 3 laps, otherwise you will be black flagged, and that's not what Will Freeman will want. So Will Freeman's mishap has promoted Jeffrey Godefroy up into 3rd place, with Morgan Grace and Dennis Novak giving chase. Arsenio is beginning to recover now, thanks to the mistakes of others. In 6th place after the contact he had with Francisco Sousa earlier on in the event. But Luke Prentice is holding up Sousa now, and this is actually a genuine battle for position for 8th place. So how will this play out?
Yeah, as they come through 180R, Kloiber is just about to go on the inside of Prentice as well, as it looks like Sousa's going to try and do a move. Nothing happening there, but I definitely think there's a position on here for Kloiber. Is he going to dive deep down the inside? Not quite, but we've got... My God, there's 2-3 car battles going on here. Sousa sharp as Godefroy's come into the pits here.
And on Sean Cole, it's a little bit ambitious really to think that is the case, but he is able to take risks. He's got a phrase, a consistent driver. He's not had the time where he's actually finished on top in a race. He's yet to win in Taco Tuesday, but hopefully at some point soon we will have that day. See Melvin Crowe's coming into the pits also, so they are dropping down the field. Will Freeman will be in the pits shortly to take his stop and go penalty. Doing it this lap, or is he going to wait for one more lap? I think he's going to wait for one more lap. He wants to make the most of the track position he's got before he does come in.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, some drivers just like to get their penalty out straight away. As we're just getting another reminder, he's coming across the line, and Godefroy's got a penalty as well.
He has, and it's for the same infringement. Godefroy is also given a 30-second stop-and-go penalty. We didn't track what speed he was going in at pit entry, but he has got the same punishment as what Will Freeman has got. So Godefroy, who was running in third place, like Will Freeman was, well, it's no longer going to be his now.
Does nobody know where the pit line is? Where the pit entry is? I've never seen this. To have two of the top runners get a... I have noticed that I think someone's hit the pit entry, you know, the kind of pit limiter sign. I think somebody's knocked that over, but even still, surely you've practiced this track enough times to know where the limiter is, or at least just take it like a little bit easy. That is shocking.
It's good news for Morgan Grace and Dennis Novak, as they are now in the position for the final podium spot. They go up to second and third places because Sean Cole is into the pits. He's probably thinking about the undercuts of what he thought was going on, but he won't need to worry about that by any means. He's coming in now to protect his second place. I think going for the win is maybe a little bit too far away given Busov's gap, but nevertheless it's a good day's work for Sean Cole should he keep hold of second place. But the question is, will he have kept that car within the pit lane speed limit as he came in?
Yep, indeed. Yeah, my word, I can't really believe these amount of these stop-go penalties. I'm still aghast at this. It's quite shocking. Let's see what Sean going to do. Is he going to be a top 5 runner who's actually going to pit and not exceed the pit limiter? He's going to come out of the pits now, and let's see if he's done it cleanly. Can't believe we're doing this on a stream.
It is worth watching, and he's safe and sound as Sean Cole. No penalty given, so he was within the pit lane speed limit. He might have been aware of what's been going on with the pit lane infringements for Freeman and Godefroy, so he thought, you know, with the gaps I've got in front and behind, I may as well just play it safe and make sure I just stick to the pit lane speed limit. And Luke Prentice is the latest to be penalised for speeding in the pit lane.
What is going on? I need to watch somebody come into the pits. We're gonna need to watch something and see what's happening here. Maybe the pit limiter sign is... I got a feeling when I was looking at Will Friedman's stream that it looked like the little red bollard was a bit further down the pit lane, because I think someone's hit it at some point. Here's Nico. Nico's coming into the pits. Let's see what he does. He's slowing way down, and that's exactly what you should be doing. Maybe are people looking at the marshals and thinking that's the limit line? I don't understand. So Nico's come into the pits, as has Morgan Grace, and Will has served his drive-through penalty. Well, stop and go penalty.
Busov's pit stop has left him. Oh no, well, I was just watching Novak actually, as the penalties for Freeman and Godefroy have been served now, so they're actually now down a lap on the leaders. Freeman has come out, but Freeman is still in front of Novak, I should say, so he's perfectly fine. Godefroy, who has also served his penalty, he is just behind the Porsche of Arsenio, so he's down a lap for the time being, but Arsenio is yet to pit.
Yep, I'm just watching Sean Cole's on board. He's coming through 180R. He's absolutely throwing it around that corner. He really wants this first place, but I'm afraid it's probably going to be all too little as Nico's coming to the end of the pit to come out into what is net first place. So try as you might, Sean Cole, he has probably got that down a little bit, but not enough. And Nico retains the lead.
What about Morgan Grace? Because he was running in the podium positions before he came in for his stop, and he is safe and sound. He's behind Sean Cole. Makovsky and Sousa are also in as they leave the pits now. Makovsky is fine as far as his penalty is concerned. Prentice is back in the pits to serve his stop and go penalty. And Sousa, is he fine? Yes, he's absolutely fine, no problem. Seen a battle further behind us. Melvin Crows looks to make a move on what looks like Jack Prentice, and is he through into turn one? Side by side they go. They leave each other room, and well, thankfully they don't end up in the wars, and they keep the cars pointing the right way. Busov is in 11th place on track, but the top 10 ahead of him have all yet to pit. So Busov is looking very good for the race win today, as they all carry on through the race. We're halfway through the event now. Busov on course for 2 wins in a row. Denis Novak comes into the pit lane, gets the car slowed down. I think he got that car slowed down in time. Arsenio also comes in. He's able to get the car slowed down. Now Kevin Druin decides to stay out there, as is Josh Clayton. These two are back in 4th position on circuit. Clyboa is also further behind. The stop-go penalty for Luke Prentice is served, so he's okay. Sure he doesn't get in the way of the leaders, and he doesn't.
Yeah, but now Druin leads the race with Josh Clayton, so we didn't think we'd be saying that at the start of the race, but they're actually in quite a tidy battle themselves. So let's see where Arsenio and Novak come out, and I want to say it looks like, I wonder how far up will Sousa, Prentice and Cruz be after all of this plays out? Will they be in the top 10 once everyone pits? Let's see where they end up. It's quite a long pit lane, quite a long pit loss, so let's see where these guys shake out.
That Novak has left the box now, but he's not left the pit lane yet. Kohler's gone ahead of him. I think Morgan Grace is ahead of Novak as well, and there's that's Dmitry Benko, who's running down a lap in 27th as we speak. Guys, Arkadiusz Michalka and Marcus Rombach are both in the pits too. 10th and 11th spots. How long have they been in the pit? Some time, I think, both of them. Well, Michalka's leaving the box now, as is Rombach. Nose to tail side by side, and it looks like Rombach might have just got the jump there as they go side by side at the pit exit. These two, they kept within the speed limit, so they are perfectly fine. And in actual fact, Rombach is ahead of Michalka.
Yeah, I always wonder what happens whenever you ghost in front of the car and then you both come out of the pits. I think the game purposely slows the one behind down, so you don't come out of the pits glued together. I don't think that's possible. So it looks like it's all how it shakes out is Nico. Nico's going to be. Oh, apologies, I'm going to sneeze. Go on mute. Oh, it's gone now. So it looks like Nico's in first place as Jorian comes into the pits. I have to say Clayton, Dybel, Leha and HRT Spike, who now comes into the pits safely slower than the speed limit. So it looks like Nico's going to come out in first place as expected, Sean Cole in second and Grace in third. It looks like Novak is going to be battling him for fourth. And that's probably going to be, seems like, the closest battle between the top four at this point.
As coming through, Sean Cole is in, will effectively be in second place once all the pit stops are done, as Druin, Dybel and Spike are all in. There's only 2 drivers left in the race who have yet to make their, well, I'll say 3, because Peter van Lyshout is still yet to make his mandatory stop, but the top 2 are still yet to make theirs, and we should be very much settled to the finish once those have pitted.
Indeed. I was sent a very nice spreadsheet from Will Friedman and about I think just to kind of show the impact of pit times on in these races, and actually how much difference there is, because in ACC, I'm sure everybody watching this is aware of ACC and how pit stops work, but you have to start, obviously there's the pit entry, which as we've seen, people do push, and in this race has fallen foul of them. There's getting down the pit lane, there's stopping on your marks, and it's stopping right on the mark so the game doesn't move you, because that can cost you about 2 or 3 seconds if you just go slightly over your box or under. So interestingly, in Misano, there was about Morgan Grace was the fastest in the pit stops there, and Sean Cole, for example, was 3.6 seconds slower than everybody else, with Will being 3 seconds slower. So that is the big, they can have some really big swings in a race down to the pit stops, and that's why sometimes when you see people pit and then they come out and you're like, why is that gap so much bigger? I'm looking at the top 3 here. Those are pretty large gaps, and they were not the same gaps that whenever they all entered the pits. So it could definitely swing around, and it's the importance of nailing a pit stop whenever you're in one of these races.
It's very good to know that, actually, in terms of how the pit stops work on this game and how much time you can actually gain through however you do it. We've got Josh Clayton and Joel Leho come in for their stops now, so Boustov takes back the lead of the race. Sean Cole is in second position. Will Freeman, who had that stop and go penalty, is running in 19th position and on the lead lap still. He's behind Arkadiusz Michalka, who's running an 18th spot. I don't think they'll get in front of Clayton or Leho because they are just leaving their boxes now, or at least Clayton is anyway. Where is Clayton going to rejoin? I think he's going to rejoin behind Clyboa, Druin and Sousa. He's out of the pits now, and Melvin Kroos is also coming through, so that could be some work to do for Josh Clayton between now and the end of the race here as they come through. In fact, Clayton gets out in front of Kroos. As Kroos looks to the outside, he'll be on tyres that are generated in terms of temperature, but Clayton is able to hold him off. Stop and go penalty given to Leha for speeding in the pit lane.
Yep, another one exists as Kroos is going so close to the back of Sousa there. That was almost so close to contact. I did say Melvin might have a chance at top 10 here, and if he gets past Sousa, he can definitely. He's got more than enough speed to get up to Joyan in the BMW there. One of the very few BMWs in the field. Surely, if he gets past Clates, he will get through. And fellow SBR teammate. And let's hope they don't come to blows. If you remember in the last round in Misano, didn't Melvin Kroos go into the side of Clayton, as we caught live on stream?
Just trying to remember from memory, I think he might well have done. If there was any punishment out after the race in relation to that. But they are in position, fighting for position for P11 now. I think they're both up in higher positions than where they were earlier on in the race. So I don't think either of them want to throw away what they've got right now, because these points will come crucial at the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think just to illustrate your point about Will Friedman down in 19th, it's down in 19th, but he still gets a tidy 12 points from this race. So it's not the worst thing in the world, bearing in mind drop scores and all of that kind of stuff. So it's obviously nowhere near as good as third or second, obviously. But he can still make some good points. He's much, much faster than all the drivers in front of him. So I reckon he could probably get up to at least 17th to get past Rombach. And he'll definitely get 16th after Leha comes into his to serve a stop go time penalty.
Yeah, how quick he gets through past Maholka and Rombach. Leha will be in the pits within the next couple of laps or so, as Freeman needs to be careful. He's run wide there, gets back onto the track. Have you picked up on how many track limit violations a number of drivers have made in this race?
I haven't seen anything on in terms of when I'm looking at the driver streams that I do have access to. I would have thought, so whenever he went wide there at 130R, it is a track limits no time gained. So I think maybe the game sees that, well, if you run wide at 130R, you don't actually gain any time with how kind of raised the curb is. I mean, that said, there are some tracks where you go wide and you go off the circuit, even into the grass. Donington, for example, on turns 4 or 5, it's that kind of downhill right-hander. If you go wide onto the grass there and you come back on the track, it's a track cut, which I find unbelievable because you don't gain any time whatsoever going that way. But some games, some tracks obviously just are very loose with your time penalties, like Circuit of the Americas. Suzuka doesn't seem to be punishing that hard. I'll go and try and see if I see other driver streams and get an idea. Will Friedman's trying to get past Mahulka here. I think he might be through. He's kind of going to send it into Dunlop corner. And let's see what he can do from here.
Right behind Mahulka now. It's just a matter of time before he does get through on the Lamborghini. They're both in Lamborghinis, so I'm sure Freeman will understand the characteristics of how his car manages in comparison to the car ahead. He tries to get a good exit out of Spoon. He looks for a wider exit from Spoon. He'll get alongside. It's a nice exit actually. He'll get into the slipstream and pull alongside before 130R. Oh no, should expect a change in position before the next turn. Freeman on the inside of Mahelka, and that is a position gained, and Mahelka just allows him to go before they get to the corner.
Yeah, that's fair enough from the hook. I think he would definitely acknowledge the man who has finished in the top 3 in most races this season will definitely get out of the way. Interesting. Oh, Melvin Cruz has gotten ahead of Josh Clayton, so Melvin is up into 11th place. So I don't know where I don't know where that happened. That might have been a turn 1 pass on track. So he's going to try and get up to the back of Sousa and Join. I think Join has actually gotten past Sousa as well as they come up to the Degnas side by side. Oh no.
Go look on the inside is Jewin, and Sousa was able to hold him off on this occasion. Sousa remains in 9th spot as we watch Clayton thinking about trying to get back through on Crows, but has to accept defeat on this occasion. Freeman is right behind Rombach now in the battle for 16th position. We did say it wouldn't take too long for him to get through, but after he gets past Rombach, he's got another 13 seconds to make up on Dybel in the Lamborghini. And there being only 18.5 minutes remaining, he's not going to have a lot of time to make up the gap.
No, not at all. I'm just on board with, I got the driver stream of Chris Gedman, and he has got 2 track cuts. So he's got a couple left. So the drivers are picking them up. It's probably just being a little bit more well behaved. Clayton's got a run on Melvin Cruz going up to 130R. Will he pull alongside? He's just taking a beat there, and that's probably a sensible thing to do. The Ferraris are wide, boys. They're very wide cars.
Crow's running wide a little bit on the exit of 130R, but Clayton's not able to capitalise and go through. So those two remain in the positions as they are for the time being. I think one driver I will mention is Kamil Makowski, who's now in front of Mario Arsenio into 5th place.
Oh, we missed that. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, that's good from Makowski. Makowski's a very, very rapid driver. He's definitely having a good time of late. I've just noticed Will has gotten ahead of Rombach DCR, and he's... I know he's just gone ahead of him now. I know it's not a back marker, it's a back marker. So Will's up into 16th place, and we'll make up that time. But yeah, that's a good track position for Makowski, up into 5th place.
Stuff from driver as he looks to hold off Arsenio, which I think is going to be the next task. I mean, he's 10 seconds behind Novak, so he might as well forget about going after him. That's what he needs to protect.
It's definitely his best position so far this season. So the first race he was 18th, then 21st, and then in the last race in Misano he was 13th. So this is a result for Makowski. Kamil Makowski, he definitely has a lot of pace to give, as does Arsenio behind him. So Arsenio is not going to give that up anytime soon. Arsenio's down in 11th place after missing the last race. Now, he won the first race, didn't he, in Bathurst? So he's definitely got a lot more potential, I feel, in the car. But, he's had a very unfortunate run of results recently. So both Makowski and Arsenio having good races today.
Adam Sharp as well, let's not forget him. He's had a good race today as well in the 237 Ferrari. He's chasing after Makowski and Arsenio. And Sharp, who went into this run, looking at his run of results, 27th in Mount Panorama, 14th in the Goseka, and 14th in Misano. He's in P7 today.
Indeed, yes, absolutely. So some drivers are definitely taking advantage of, let's just say, the mishaps of some other drivers' inability to find the pit lane entrance. So this seems like one of the more closer battles on track between Makowski and Arsenio. This will probably go right to the wire. Track temperature's picking up, it's 35 degrees, so the tyres will definitely start to feel it. If you play ACC, you'll definitely notice that you get an orange banding on your tyres whenever they start to really go through these fast, long, sweeping corners, and you always get a little bit of a panic whenever you start seeing them going orange and going increasingly orange and increasingly hot. So that's kind of where the benefit of you need to open up your brake ducts and make sure that they're sort of as open as they can be, because every time you touch the brakes, they also heat up the tyres.
Oh, the spin! Makowski! He collected it all up, but it's enough for Arsenio to make his way through and up into 5th place. Cuts the over for Makowski. Arsenio wasn't going to need an invitation, didn't need a second invitation. He took advantage of the invitation he had, and he went through, no problem.
Yeah, no problem. It's a slightly strange error to make there on the exit of the Degnas. But that definitely gets him through. So yeah, this battle will keep going, no doubt. Because I think it was Mikowski who got past Arsenio in the first place, so they're definitely having a bit of a ding-dong battle. The Lamborghini and the Corsa, two completely different cars and different performance characteristics. But yeah, that's an unfortunate mistake to make. Looking further down the field, it looks like Melvin has streaked a bit clear of Josh Clayton as he's closing the gap up to 10th place, which would be a really, really good result for Melvin, coming down from 20th and keeping his nose clean and definitely having a much cleaner race than in Misano, getting past his good friend Josh. And then, yeah, looking at Will. So Will's he's got 10-second gap to Dyburo. And I think that's important for the championship, of how further he can get in the remaining 14 minutes.
And Nyshow has come into the pits. Liam O'Neill has not rejoined the race, unfortunately, so he looks like out of it now. Chris Gedman, who is running in 29th, Basprinkoff in 28th. Kontratenko, who was running in the top 3 early in the race before he had his chance, is in 26th position behind Stuart Hutchinson. And he'll probably just want the checker flag to be out now, in all honesty. Will Freeman is catching Dybul. He's 10 seconds behind him with 13.5 minutes remaining. So I'd say we've got about 8 laps to go in this race. Busov leading by 7.5 seconds over Sean Cole. And I think the top 2 are pretty much sewn up as far as this race is concerned. The battle for the podium spot between Morgan Grace and Dennis Novak could well go right to the end.
Indeed. It looks like they're doing quite fast lap times, though. Looks like, looking on board of Will. By the way, Will, very grateful for your stream. It's adding quite a lot to my comprehension. I actually sound like I know what I'm talking about, just mainly because of your stream. He's doing a 2-minute 1, which, if you remember, that's only 7/10 slower than qualifying. So it's quite mightily impressive pace from Will. And what could have been, I feel, with him. It's definitely posting some rapid times here. I've had a look at Dyburl's car, actually, and he's got a bit of damage onto the back of his Lamborghini. So he'll probably not be doing particularly rapid times if that's going to be affecting his aero. So I don't think that will be much of a problem for Will to close up in the first 12 minutes. I think in the last 12 minutes, I think he's got that gap now down to below 9 seconds. So you just got to get a motor on.
Got enough time to catch him, but then after he gets past Dybul, he's got another 10 seconds to make up on Chris Faster, which, you know, not going to be able to catch him unless any misfortunes of others occur. So Freeman will want to keep going. I mean, to be honest, you never know what will happen in the remaining rounds.
Yeah.
He may have another repeat day of this, so he may as well take advantage of the fact that he needs to get as many points out of this as possible.
Kloiber and Sousa are side by side down into turn 1, and it looks like Sousa's got the position. That was an excellent move, very well done from Sousa. Sousa. Yeah, Sousa has gotten through. So that was one battle that was really heating up there, and well done on Sousa getting through to 8th place in the Mercedes, which is the only Mercedes in the entire field. That's very unpopular.
Yeah, and Mercedes AMG doesn't seem to be the most popular car to be having as far as the driver is concerned, but he's able to make a move on Kleiber, and there's a spin there. Is that Mikowski? Yeah, it is. He's had an incident at the Dunlop curve. He's had a shunt. The bonnet is damaged, and he needs to be very careful he doesn't take out any of the other drivers or become an obstacle here. What a shame, because he was running in 6th position before that mistake, and yeah, I think either he'll want to just bring that car home or come into the pits to get the repairs done. He's trying to make a move on Melvin Crow's back, but I think it's hardly a contest, to be honest with you, with the damage that he's got.
No, I don't know where that happened. I'm looking at Arsenio's car, and Arsenio has no damage at all. So he must have just lost it at the exit of the last of the S's and just went into the barrier, or must have made contact with somebody. Must have made contact with at least the barrier there. What a very strange mistake to make.
That car cannot be performing as well as it was before he had the contact. Clayton's trying to make his way through. Mikowski blocks him off as he takes his one manoeuvre. You're only supposed to make one move on the straight before the next corner, and I think Clayton's got him here before 130R. So Clayton is through just as, yeah, I thought Mikowski was going to try and fight it all out until the end. That might help Will Freeman, actually, if Mikowski's problem continues to exasperate. that might give Freeman a chance to make up another position towards the end.
Yeah, indeed, and that promotes Melvin up into 10th place, so he's got a top 10 place from starting 20th on the grid, mainly due to the misfortune of others, but keeping your nose clean, so it just shows the importance of always keeping in the race. And looking at Godefroy, it's interesting, Godefroy hasn't really made up many positions. He kind of came in around about the same time as Will. He got that time penalty in a very similar spot, similar time in the race, but he's still down in 20th place. Kontratenko, as we saw, absolutely smash the barrier at 130R, clearly had such significant damage, is all the way still down in 26th place. We'll still get some decent points though. 26th place gets you 5 points, so not a terrible result. It's kind of when you look at the standings, it will not tell you the full story of that race. You'll look at the standings and think, oh yeah, that's just normal, but it was anything but normal for him. And what could it be?
The handling of his Lamborghini is very much dented by the incident he's had, and the next car behind him is Jack Prentice. He's had a reasonable race tonight. He's running in 13th position, could be 12th in the moment. Will Freeman is 5 seconds just over behind Dybel, so I think he will pass him before this race is over. It's just looking at the gap between them and Makovsky. Makovsky, I think he's around about 16 seconds behind him, so he needs to make up about 4 seconds per lap on him, and that's just to catch up.
Yeah, I think Dalborough is definitely one. You'll definitely catch him. He's probably like doing 1 second. Actually, maybe he might just catch the back of him before the end of the race. I just realised there's only 8 minutes left, and that's actually not that long in the grand scheme of things. Let's see who overtakes that. That's a back marker, so he's just overtaken. So yeah, I would say, let's see what the gap is coming over the line. He's done a 2:01.4 in the last lap, so he's definitely lapping quite quickly. I don't have any reference to how that compares to the leaders, but he's definitely lapping quick enough. It's down to 4.7 now, so he's making an impression. So let's see how far he can get up.
Now it's 4.7 seconds between him and Dybel in the last sector. I'd like to think that has come down a little bit more. 4.2. So he's taken about another half a second in that last sector alone on the Lamborghini ahead. Go back to Makovsky because he's continuing to lose ground. He's got Jack Prentice all over the back of him as they come through the Dunlop curve. Jack Prentice nearly dropping it as they go through the left-hander, but he was able to collect it, unlike Makovsky a few laps ago. And it won't be too long before Chris Foster gets onto the tail of these two.
Indeed, yeah. I'm just looking at, I think lap traffic's going to start to be a bit of an issue in some of these battles, as there's some blue flags being waved. Nico is just going through one right now. Actually, yeah, I think he lost a bit of time compared to Sean, because Sean's got that gap down to below 7 seconds. But yeah, certainly some. It's interesting. Melvin and Clayton are still. Josh Clayton is. They're really still close together. Melvin has got into that 10th place and has not been able to pull away.
Oh, contact between Prentice and Makovsky. Makovsky goes for a spin and he collects Faster as he rejoins.
Oh no, Mikowski. Sorry, I didn't see that. Who was to blame for that? Was that Mikowski?
It's very hard to tell. You'll have to look back on the stream. I did catch the incident as it happened, but that is good news for Will Freeman as he's coming through now. But there'll be plenty. Well, Jack Prentice's car will be somewhat damaged, and Chris Faster's car will most certainly be damaged as he struggles to get the car through 130R.
That's such a shame for Prentice as well. He was having a good race up there in the kind of higher reaches of the teens. But yeah, I think it's always tricky with Mikowski as he's just trundling down the straight, hopefully trying to get through. We got track limit violation, and it's Chris Gedman, who I was just saying had track limit violation. So it's all kicking off here. Oh, that's such an awful position for Mikowski to go through 180R.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Godefroy. Yeah,
that's Godefroy. I think he had to run wide there. That's poor driving from Mikowski. He should have gone onto the grass through 130R, and that's not good enough by his standards there. So he'll probably come into the pits to retire the car unless he gets the car repaired in time. But Will Freeman's up into 15th place now. He's only 2.6 seconds behind Dybel with I would say in terms of the lap he's on, we're on lap 27. I think by the time Busov crosses over the line, he'll have 3 laps to go. So in terms of the lap that Freeman is on, he's got 4 laps left.
Yep. And I tell you what, I'm just telling you what, like Sean Cole's definitely got that gap down to Nico. Probably like nothing really to shout about, but Sean's definitely having a little bit of a better last bit of the race compared to his first stint. So he's just getting that gap down a little bit. Novak has got the gap down to 3rd place to Morgan Grace, down to 1.4 seconds. So still some potentially a battle happening for the podium position. Both drivers would be absolutely ecstatic to get in that podium. Yeah, so some battles happening all over the track. So let's see what Will can do. I think he's coming up to Dalbell now actually, and he's coming up to McLaren, that back marker, I think.
Peter van Lyshout, who's many laps behind these lot. He gets out of the way and wiser, so he knows that his race is over anyway. Kondratenko's up there in 24th position in the Audis, 1.7 seconds behind Steve Cohen, so he's got time to actually get through on him, but that's as good as it's going to get between now and the end of the race.
Indeed. So let's see what goes on. Chris Gebman, has he come in and served that penalty? Yes, he has. Okay, that's fine. So Chris Gebman served his penalty. I don't know if he's just the only driver that's suffering from track cuts. But no doubt some would definitely. But from what we've been seeing and how people have been pushing the track limits, there's definitely probably a couple of other ones in that boat. Novak's got the gap down to 1.2 seconds, so he is pushing that Honda. What a job he's doing in the Honda, to be fair. We've got a couple of drivers here, the only manufacturers in the race, so to get the Honda up to 4th place, fair play. They're saying that the Honda is definitely one of the cars that's going to benefit from this new BOP, custom BOP that G-Portal have been able to get on and hopefully get onto the consoles soon. But yeah, to get that up and running, well, should we be surprised? It's Honda Japan. Maybe they've got a more favourable setup.
Just watching Will Freeman trying to make a move on Dybel as they come out of the Degners, and he had to drop back because I didn't think he wanted to run into him through the Degners, and just have to bide his time a little bit. Looks to the outside, he'll look to get a good exit coming out of here. He's not going to be close enough to pull alongside before Spoon, so he'll have to wait back a little bit and see how they get through Spoon as well. Faster is continuing to lose time because of the damage he's got, so a possible 13th place is in the offing here for Will Freeman. It may not sound like much, but it could come crucial at the end of the campaign.
Absolutely. Just on the battle update for 3rd, Novak's just made a bit of a mistake on turn 1, so I would say that's probably he had the gap down to 1 second crossing the line, but he's just made a bit of a mistake, so I'd say that's probably that for that particular battle. So it's all eyes really on Will and what Will can do from here.
Wide though through 130, just needs to be careful with track limits, especially in the closing stages now, as he looks to make a move on Dybel as they come out of the Casio Triangle chicane. As they come out of there now, onto the pit straight. He's too far back to have a go, so he'll have to wait back a little bit as Matthias Dybel holds his nerve and his position. They're coming up to Chris Faster in a moment, and it won't be too long before Nico Busov starts the final lap of the race. He's coming towards Spoon now with 1 minute to go. I think he'll get over the line before the clock reaches 0, which will buy Freeman some more time to get through on Dybel and Faster for 13th place.
And we have to remember this is the best. This is Dybel's best position so far this championship. He's been down in the 22nd in the last race, and 22nd in the first race, and 28th in the middle. So this is good. He will definitely want to defend this place with all of his might. He's not going to give this up easily.
Not so, and he's right all over the tail. He won't want to be too close through the Degners because that's where he backed off the last time around. He rides the curb on the exit. It might have taken a little bit too much curve. I think that's probably the reason why he's not getting as good of an exit as desired. As he comes through now. Busov has started the final lap of the race, so that will give Freeman another lap to go after Dybel and Faster. they make their way through. Novak's got the gap down to half a second. We'll quickly go to those two as they start their last lap. Novak is not able to get through on the Ferrari on this occasion, and I think Grace is going to very much have this one to his court. Now we look at Will Freeman all over the back of Dybel. On the grass is Freeman as they come out towards 130R. Cannot get through, has to slot back in behind. But he may be able to have a go for it into the Casio Triangle chicane. Looks to the outside of the Lamborghini as they come through. Round the outside goes Will Freeman. Cannot do it there. Has to hold back for the time being.
And meanwhile, Faster just completely went over the chicane as well. So he's really struggling with his car too. There's definitely two positions to be gained here.
1 lap to go then. Freeman is running out of chances here to make the moves he needs to get his championship back on track, but Novak's got the gap down to 1/10 of a second on Morgan Grace as they come out of the hairpin. But want to go to
so close. They were so close to contact there, really close. As Novak did a bit of a dive bomb there, but he'll have such a run if he gets spin right here.
It's been an incident. It's the number 13 that's spun round. It's Bas Brinkoff who's had a moment. He just wants to stay out of the way of the leaders. But we'll go to Nico Busov maybe, but in fact, no, we'll go to Dennis Novak, who's trying to get through still on the moment. At the moment on Morgan Grace. It looks to the outside as they come towards 130R for the last time. Is there going to be a change in position as they come through? Novak has to back out of it, so I think that's that sorted now. We'll go to Nico Busov, who's coming out of the last turn to take his second win in a row. Nico Busov wins again in Taco Tuesday in the FRL at Suzuka. Congratulations to him. Sean Cole crossed over the line in second. So we'll go to Will Freeman in a moment as you see Morgan Grace holding off Dennis Novak for the final podium position. As we go to Will Freeman, who's coming through. Well, he's coming through. He's coming through Spoon, trying to get through on Dybel and Faster. Nose to tail these lot. Morrison, who comes out in 5th place. Adam Sharp gets through on Sousa for 6th. Holds off Sousa for 6th place. Kleibo will be a Druin, holding off Josh Clayton at the end as they go side by side on the pit straight. But I think Druin has this one. He goes 9th, Clayton 10th, Crows 11th, Jack Prentice will be 12th. But we'll go back to the battle for 13th as we see Freeman trying to get through on Dybel and Faster. And Peter Van Schiller had to take evasive action to avoid contact with this lot. Freeman trying to get through, gets a good exit out of the Casio Triangle chicane. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Is Dybel able to hold off Will Freeman? I think he is. Faster will be 13th and Freeman has to settle for 15th behind Dybel. It's been a day to forget for Will Freeman, but he'll have to take the points in the end and look at the long-term grand scheme of things. Marcus Rumback will be 16th out of Arceus and Mihalka. Jennifer Godfrey will be in a disappointing 18th position. He's had a day to forget again. Jan Spike will be 19th and Demon Infanov will be the last of those on the lead lap in 20th place. But there is your race winner. It's Nico Busov in the 95 Porsche here at Suzuka in the Taco Tuesday series in the FRL.
Wow. What a, I love a drag race right at the line for Will. That was some staunch defending from Dybel. We'll have to really give him credit for that. I would say both of them have a bit of a stake to claim for Faster just completely cutting that last corner. I definitely would probably want to review that with the stewards because that's probably not on really to do that because Faster was completely missed the braking zone. So yeah, that'll be an interesting one to look at post race. But well done to Nico Busov. That was a commanding win. Kept the gap down to around about 6 seconds, but an absolute imperialist win and continues a bit of a winning streak really for him. That's a second win race in a row in Taco Tuesday. Well done to Morgan Grace. That's excellent for his championship chances. He'll gain plenty of points. He's up in he's 4th place in the championship right now, so that is a tidy 36 points. On a day where Will Friedman and Godefroy didn't do too well, I think Sean Cole and Morgan Grace will be very, very happy with that. So, and an excellent, fantastic battle for Novak and Grace. That went right to the wire. And yeah, brilliant for Novak. I'm just trying to find him on the championship, but he's down in 17th after some really middling performances. So that's an excellent showing from Novak.
Let's run down on the result there. Nico Bosov for the second week running is the winner. Sean Cole second ahead of Morgan Grace, who takes his first podium this season in third place. Dennis Novak, his best result so far in fourth, ahead of Mauro Arsenio in fifth. Adam Sharp in a strong sixth. Francisco Sousa, Clyde Bower, Kevin Durin and Josh Clayton in a strong 10th place, rounding out the top 10. Marvin Crowson in P11, followed by Jack Prentice. Chris Foster ahead of Matthias Dybel, with Will Freeman in 15th position after he had to serve a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He ended up that far down. Marcus Rombach is 16th ahead of Arkadiusz Mihalka. Then it's Jeffrey Godefroy and Jan Spike. Dimon Ivanov in 20th position. Luke Prentice ahead of Joel Leher. Steve Corona was 23rd ahead of Dmitry Kontritenko, who had to pit in for repairs after an off at 130R. Stuart Hutchinson in 25th ahead of Farklop Epistle. Cameron Mikowski, Boss Brinkoff, Chris Gedman and Peter van der Leyshout were the rest of those that made it to the checker flag. Liam O'Neill, Will Rayner and Connor Byers did not make it to the end. So 30 out of the 33 that started made it to the end.
Wow, yep, definitely. I'm just looking at the comments after race. Will is understandably angry against himself for the stop-go penalty, but claims that the pit limit billboard was smashed. So that probably explains, I mean, I kind of caught it on the stream, but that probably explains why a few drivers fell foul. I think that was probably the lap one incident with loads of people coming into the pits and not being able to control their cars, probably knocked away the pit limiter. So, yeah, that rather explains that.
Nico Bosov with that win has moved into the lead of the championship. No question. I just want to correct myself because Morgan Grace, who picked up that podium, it's his second podium of the season, not his first one. He picked up a podium at Laguna Seca. So his season is continuing to go from strength to strength. He's finished in the top 6 in every race so far this season. As for Sean Cole, he continues his good form by finishing second as well. Damien van der Waal, who's not competed again tonight. That's 2 races in a row he's failed to turn up. Luke Prentice continuing a reasonable good season so far, finishing in the top 12 in every race so far. Ben Milden, who we spoke about earlier tonight, didn't compete because of, let's just say, a power blackout over in the area that he is in. So we hope to see him back for the next race. The next race, looking at the calendar, just getting it up now, it's over in the UK at Snetterton. That should be a fun race for everyone that competes for then. So, your last thoughts, Craig, before we wrap up for tonight?
A very good race. Really some fierce battling, and well done everyone. We did see some contact, but mostly some really good battles. So congratulations to Busov, and better luck for Godefroy and Will Friedman, and of course Kondratenko for next time out. You guys have got the pace, so keep it going. Snetterton will be an interesting one. Let's see what happens there. That's a tiny British track, so it'll be very different to Suzuka. But yes, very good race. Thank you.
Be a different track for most certainly as well. So that those who are British will be hoping to do well on home turf next week. Thank you very much for watching this. If you did enjoy that, do make sure you like and subscribe in case you haven't already done so. We've reached over 800 subscribers in the YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, do make sure you press that subscribe button and you can keep up to date with all the action that is within the FRL. It's not just the Taco Tuesday series, there's all the others as well, including the Sprint Championship that is happening on Sunday nights that you can certainly join for then. Do make sure you like and subscribe. So that's all I can say on that. We'll wrap it up there. Thank you, Craig, for joining us, and we'll do it again in 7 days' time in Snetterton. I'm Tom Cairns, he's Craig Law, and we'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.